Williams. Don't look at the camera, look at the runway. He's going to do a takeoff. We're doing a BFR today, and we're working on pattern work and landing, and he's doing great today. Our first flight together, he had some work he had to do, but today has been pretty good. Here we go, we're taking off down runway 6. Looking for 55, not 50. There's 55.
Rotating.
Nose over for 79. There you are. Remember up here. Yeah. It's one of the things we talked about today is like the horizon in relation to the dash. So if you put the horizon just on the dash, you can get the VUI, which is best rate of climb, almost every time. And so we worked on that a little bit. So he's going to extend his takeoff, and he's going to go out to 1,400 feet. Our pattern altitude is 1,700. So 300 above, he'll make his turn to his crosswind. And then when we get right about pattern altitude, we'll turn downwind. It's a beautiful morning here in Pennsylvania.
Same for traffic warrior, 42 Foxtrot, turning left crosswind for 6, chamber.
One of the things that Greg likes to do is he likes to ride carnival rides in his spare time, so we kick the rudder back and forth to simulate that.
Farmers Pride traffic, 26 Yankee turning left base for 28 Farmers Pride.
Those big feet.
All right, there it is, 17. We're making our downwind, easing our power back.
Same for traffic warrior, 42 Foxtrot, left downwind for 6, chamber. Ooh, I'm high.
Good call. And there's our airport, kind of over there. It's hard to tell on the iPhone, but that's Chambersburg behind the airport. On the other side of the highway is Lost Acres. How you feeling today?
Excellent.
Feeling pretty good on this downwind right now?
A little bit, yeah.
It's getting a little bumpy.
It is just touch.
So we have some cumulus clouds that are building up above us, which means that we have an unstable atmosphere, which means you're going to get a little bit of turbulence below those clouds. Once you get above those clouds, it smooths out. All right. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
Hey, all right, we're back. So we just finished flying, and we did some power-ons, power-off stalls, we did slow flight, we did some landings, pattern work, steep turns, emergency descent. So tell me how you felt about today.
I felt a lot better today than I did the last time. I'm feeling like I'm getting, back into the swing of things. I haven't been able to fly a lot lately. I just need to spend some more time, tighten some things up, and then you got to do it. It's really hard to take long stretches of time.
Yeah.
You can't stay proficient, and it's always better to go up with somebody, get up with an instructor, and tighten yourself up before you go up and put yourself or anybody else at risk. So
that's really, really good advice. I mean, so Greg came to me back early July, wanted to do a BFR, hadn't flown in about a year, and then you had flown a little bit, but then there'd been some time before that.
Yeah.
Anyway, first time we got together, honestly, he was having a hard time even keeping the plane level.
Yeah, it was rough.
For whatever reason.
It was rough. I was just over-controlling. Really over-controlling.
So today he did a great job. Like, you could tell that he's thinking about what he needed to improve upon the last time. And, one of the things about being an aviator is they say a really true professional aviator, somebody that thinks like a professional, is driving to the airport, thinking about weather, thinking about what am I going to do, visualizing everything that's going to happen versus, jamming to the radio and talking on the phone and coming over to the airport, right?
Right, exactly.
So what he just said is, today was really good. And they're out here skydiving today, so you'll see some guys coming in and out of here. They pack chutes here, and it's fun, man. This is a cool little airport.
It is. This is a great little airport.
But this is Greg, and he's a great guy, and he's a good pilot. So today we did some landings after everything, and you could tell need some work.
Yep, absolutely.
It got better.
Yeah,
It got better.
need some more though.
I'm big on flying by the numbers when you're in the pattern. Some guys, I don't know, some instructors that I've been with and Greg's been with, it's just like, well, you just want this and you just want that. I find that if you actually know what you're going to get from a power setting, like 1500, and hold altitude and then slow down to 80 and a notch of flaps and then pitch the nose over, we know every time what's going to happen.
Yep.
So it's predictable.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of a lesson you learned today.
Absolutely.
And you said to me about previous instructors, go ahead and say it.
Well, I mean, they're like, well, you just want this sight picture and don't worry as much, keep your head out of the cockpit completely and don't look at your airspeed, just feel it, just check it every so often. And what you said to me, I think, was important is you've got to take it all in. You've got to have that sight picture, but you've also got to see what your instruments are saying, and so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is you could land without looking at airspeed.
Yeah.
Okay, but why?
Right. It's there. It's a tool. Use it.
Yeah, set the power. We're beam our numbers. Set the power. Slow down to 80. Give yourself that notch of flaps, to help you slow down, and then pitch the nose over for descent, and then trim. And I told him, I said, and you can take your hands off, and you're like descending at 80 knots, and just eat a bologna sandwich. Right?
Yep.
And every time you do, it's going to result in the same thing.
Yeah.
And another thing that I think that we've worked on breaking a habit that you have is a lot of people, they fly with trim. They don't fly the plane.
And my first instructor was big on trim, and almost flying with the trim. Yeah,
right. Yeah, trim's important.
Sure.
You have to use trim, but you feel the control pressure.
Yeah.
And you trim to relieve it and trim for that airspeed. And then when you take your hands off it, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But when something happens, initially when we first got together, and a little bit this morning, when like, oh, I'm descending, he wouldn't pull back on the controls. He reached down and hit the trim tab. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Pull back on the control to stop the descent, hold it, trim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good lesson,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something I'm breaking now. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, you did a great job this afternoon.
Thank you.
Anyway, great guy, great
Thank
pilot.
you.
I'm heading down to Thrust, and I'm going to miss this dude. 'Cause I really.
We've had fun.
We have had fun.
We've had a good time.
Anyway.
And I've gotten a lot. Yeah. I appreciate it, Russ.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, Flings on Wings. Don't forget, you can subscribe right down here, and there'll be more stuff coming. I forgot my GoPro rig this weekend, so we're doing everything on my phone. So I got the audio. I just didn't have the GoPros. But hopefully, you guys will enjoy what we're doing. You'll learn from it, and you'll get to meet cool guys like Greg.
Hey,
We'll be in touch, man.
Yep, absolutely.
See you.
Thanks, Russ.
Bye.